Good morning, grade 7s, and welcome to your daily mathematics lesson with WorksheetCloud. I hope you guys are well and safe. If you've started school this week, then I hope everything's going according to plan. There's going to be new things for you to learn and new things for your teachers to learn. So just be patient if there are any teething problems, but it's really important that you guys stay on top of your work. If you haven't started school, then this is a great platform for you to keep up to date with what you are required to know. And then guys, please feel free to ask me any questions regarding the content that we are covering, or any questions about the previous lessons that we have covered. Alternatively, if you have questions about work that we haven't covered yet that you are unsure about, then feel free to send those queries via the email address on your screen, and I will answer them during the next lesson. Okay, so today we've got our warm-up and mental questions. The mental questions are based on work that we've previously done. We're going to look at dividing fractions today. Yesterday and the day before we looked at multiplication and addition, so the fraction theme has been going for a few days now and we're getting towards the end, and then I've got a finisher and the game 24 for you to play today. Okay, so your warm-up activity is as follows. Guys, as usual, I encourage you to press pause here and to try to complete that puzzle by yourself. Remember to tell me the value of all the symbols and then the value of the question mark at the end. Challenge yourselves, press pause and see how you go. Right, so if you did press pause and you worked through it, then very well done to you. Okay, so we should be looking at this and deciding where we're going to start. And for me personally, I'm going to look at the third line where the, let's call it a watermelon ice cream, is equal to the watermelon. Okay, now that tells me that all three of these symbols at the top are equal, and 63 can be written as 21 plus 21 plus 21. Okay. Now I have 21 and I need to get to 33, so there's 12 missing there, so I need to add 6 and add 6, okay, and that's going to give me the 33. Okay, we know here that 21 is equal to 21. Okay, apologies for the shortness of my ones, I'm still using my trusty finger. So we know that the slice of watermelon is 6. It must be minus 3 to give me 3. And then right at the bottom, I've got 6 divided by 3 and multiplied by 21. Okay. And we do the 6 divided by 3 first as order of operations. Division comes before multiplication. Okay, and that's going to give me the 2 multiplied by 21, and the question mark is therefore going to be 42. Okay, so guys, well done if you struggled through that, or if you're getting the hang of it and you're starting to find them quite easy. It's a really great way to think. There's a lot of algebraic thinking that goes into these kind of puzzles, which will set you up nicely for grade 8. And I'm hoping now to actually make them a little bit more challenging for you as we move on. Okay, so your mental questions today. What is the lowest common multiple of 7 and 9? 3/5 minus 2/7. Complete the following sequence. Is 47,646 divisible by 9? And I'm encouraging you for question number 4 not to actually do the sum. I just want a yes or no answer. So I'm looking at divisibility rules there. And then question 5, the square root of 16 plus 3 squared minus 2 cubed. Again, now would be a great time to press pause. Okay guys, well done if you've worked through all of those. So my lowest common multiple of 7 and 9, I'm writing out the 7 times table and the 9 times table, and I'm looking for the lowest number that occurs in both sets. Okay, once you've done that and you've written them out, you should see that the lowest common multiple is 63. Okay, then we have 3 over 5 minus 2 over 7. And you know that when we add or subtract fractions, your denominator needs to be the same. So again, I'm looking for the lowest common denominator of 5 and 7. You can write out the 5 times table or the 7 times table. You know, you should be looking at the number 35. So your lowest common multiple is going to be 35. Okay, now just on that, you should notice right now that 5 and 7 are the denominators, and 5 times 7 is 35. So you can quite often multiply the denominators together, but it often doesn't give you the lowest common denominator. Okay, so just be very careful if you do that. Sometimes if you don't get the lowest common denominator, you need to simplify further at the end. Okay. So in this case, what do I do to the denominator 5 to get to 35? I multiply by 7. And I'll just put that there. Okay, so I now need to multiply the 3 by 7 and I get 21. And we're subtracting. What do I do to this 7 to get to 35? I multiply by 5. So therefore I must multiply the 2 by 5 and I get 10. Okay. And that gives me an answer of 11 over 35. Okay, that cannot be simplified any further. Okay, then next question, complete the sequence. Okay, so you could have recognized that you are just adding the previous 2 terms to get to the next term. So the first 2 terms are 0 and 1. 0 plus 1 is 1. And then the next term is 2. So 1 plus 1 is 2. The next term is 3. So the 2 plus the 1 is 3. The 5 is equal to the 3 plus the 2 before it. So the next number after the 5 is going to be 8, because 5 and 3 is 8. The number after 8 is going to be 8 plus 5, which is 13, and the number after 13 is 13 plus 8, which is 21. Okay? In question 4, is 47,646 divisible by 9? So here, guys, we're looking to know, or looking to test to see whether your divisibility rules, whether you know your divisibility rules, and 9 is the same as 3. Okay, so if I add the individual digits within 47,646, okay, and I do this, plus 6, plus 4, add 6, okay, you're going to get an answer of 27. Is 27 divisible by 9? Yes, it is. It goes into 27 3 times, okay. Now, if that gives you a number that is divisible by 9, then you know that your 47,646 is divisible by 9. Okay? So exactly the same as 3, except you're using the number 9. Then question 5, the square root of 16 is 4. Add 3 squared, which is 9. Subtract 2 cubed, which is 8. Okay, so 13 minus 8 is equal to 5. I'll just let you know the most common error when it comes to squaring and cubing numbers is a lot of you guys go 3 multiplied by 2 is 6 instead of saying 3 multiplied by 3. Or you say for 2 cubed, you say 2 multiplied by 3 instead of 2 times 2 times 2. Please make sure you understand the difference between multiplying and squaring a number. Okay, so we move on to our first fraction challenge of the day. All right, so my question to you is, what fraction of the shape is yellow? Okay, now there's a hint there that says draw the picture above and then try split it up evenly. if you can draw it, if you have a pencil and paper with you and you can make a rough sketch of that picture, then that'll help you a lot. Press pause now and see if you can work that out. Okay guys, so let's have a look, and hopefully what you worked out is what I'm going to show you. So the way I would do it, and I'm interested to hear if you did it differently, is I would split this shape up into smaller triangles. I'm going to split that up like that and like that. Okay, they're not going to be perfect because I'm using my finger. Okay, now I'm not sure if you guys would have recognized, but the two red trapeziums, if you had to flip them over the other way, they'd be the same as the yellow, what's it, a hexagon. It's got 6 sides. Okay, but if you didn't, that's not a problem. We'll split that up like that, and we'll split that up like that. Okay, now we've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14 triangles. Okay, and the yellow triangles make up 6 of the 14. So therefore that yellow is 6 over 14, which is the same as 3 over 7. Okay, great. Well done if you guys worked that out. Okay, so today's theme is the division of fractions. And guys, for the division of fractions, to divide one fraction by another, we take the division sign and we turn it to a multiplication sign. And the fraction after the division sign, you need to flip it or invert it, and then you just multiply the fractions normally. Okay, so you can see 1/3 divided by 2/5 becomes 1/3 multiplied by 5 over 2. I multiply my numerators. 1 times 5 is 5. I multiply my denominators. 3 times 2 is 6. And my answer is 5 over 6. Remember, the flipped fraction or the inverted fraction is called a reciprocal fraction. Okay? If I'm dividing a whole number by a fraction, the same rules apply. If I've got 28 divided by 2 over 7, it becomes 28 multiplied by 2 over 7, by 7 over 2. I can therefore multiply the 28 and the 7 together to get 196. And I can multiply the 2 and the 1 together to get to 2. And when 196 is divided by 2, I get to 98. Okay, now I'm just going to show you a little, I wouldn't like to call it a trick, but I just want to show you something that can make your lives a little bit easier when coming towards the end of a multiplication fraction. Okay, and if that is my example I have for you over there, instead of going 28 multiplied by 7, I can simplify diagonally here. Okay, so if I have a number like I've got 2 here, and that 2 can go into the opposite diagonal number perfectly. Okay, 2 goes into 2 once and into 28 14 times. Okay, now I can just say 14 multiplied by 7, which gives me 98. And my denominators, I've got 1 times 1, so that becomes over 1. But you should know that anything over 1 is equal to that number that's in the numerator. So it's actually equal to 98. So that's just a little something you can try out to make the multiplication of the numerators easier. Just got to make sure that the denominator that you are using to simplify the numerator is a factor of that numerator. Okay, so I'm going to ask you guys to go ahead and do these examples. Okay, so press pause now, and then when you get back, we'll talk through them. Guys, so I'm sure you've gone and worked through those 4 examples. Okay, remember that when we divide fractions, the fraction that comes after the division sign gets inverted and becomes the reciprocal, and the division sign changes to a multiplication sign, and then we just multiply as per usual. So for the first one, 1/3 divided by 3 over 2. 1/3 becomes multiplied by 2 over 3. Okay, and then I just multiply the numerators together, I get 2. I multiply the denominators together, I get 9, and my answer is 2 over 9. For the second one at the top, 2 over 11 becomes multiplied by 4 over 1. Okay, 2 times 4 is 8, and 11 times 1 is 11. Okay, your third question was 5 over 6 divided by 4. Okay, so now remember that 4 can also be written as 4 over 1. Okay, those are exactly the same things. All right, so now what we're going to have is we'll change that division sign to a multiply sign, and we'll have 1 over 4. Now I just multiply the numerators together and I get 5, and I multiply the denominators together and I get 24. Okay, and the same applies for 3/4 divided by 8. I write my 3/4 down. Okay, the 8, which can be written as 8 over 1, becomes multiplied by 1 over 8. And then I multiply normally. 3 times 1 is 3, and 4 times 8 is 32. Okay, cool. Right, guys, so that's the division of fractions. Okay, so we've covered now addition, subtraction, multiplication, and division of fractions. Please, guys, feel free to use the email address at the bottom of your screen, grade7@worksheetcloud.com. Send me any queries that you might have on fractions. Right, your finisher for today. Okay, remember it's a multiplication table. You need to tell me what the value of the volcano, the cactus, the pyramids, the world map, the globe, and the book are. Okay? Okay, guys, well then, if you've worked that out, the numbers are slowly getting bigger. So expect this to start getting a little bit more challenging. Okay, so if that's 35, 49, and 63, so if you had recognized that those are multiples of 7 straight away, then well done. And if you had recognized that the bottom row is multiples of 9, then well done again. Okay, so where am I going to start? Here, okay. Okay, so I started with trial and error, and I just threw some numbers in, and I must be honest and say I knew that 35 was 5 multiplied by 7. I wasn't sure if the 5 should be on the left or at the top, so I just put the numbers in 5 and 7 in randomly, and I need to see if it's going to work out. What multiplied by 7 is 49, and that's 7. Okay, so that's worked out. And what multiplied by 7 is 63, and that's 9, so that's worked out quite nicely. Okay, I then recognize that what can I multiply this 9 by to get to the 81, and that's going to be 9 at the top. Okay, and then to get this answer here, I went 5 times 9 is 45. To get the middle block, I went 7 times 9 is 63. Okay, then I said the same 9 over here, what did I multiply that by to get to this 108? Okay, and I knew that that was 12. 9 times 12 is 108, and now it's just a case of multiplying the 5 by the 12 to get to 60, and the 7 by the 12 to get to 84, and I think we're done. Okay. Right, guys, then for your challenge at home today, I've got 3 cards for you. You're going to play the game 24. Remember, you need to use all 4 numbers on each card, and you can use any of the operational signs. You can use them more than once. You can use it only once. You can only use one to get to the answer of 24. So, for example, I could say 7 plus 6 plus 2 plus 2. Okay, that's not going to give me 24. So now maybe I can go 7 times 2 is 14. Plus 2 times 6 is 12, that's 26, so it still doesn't give me 24. So you've got to keep playing around with the numbers until you get the answer of 24 and use whatever operational signs you can get. The second part of the challenge is, can you work out more than one way to get to 24? Okay. So again, give me feedback on that. That would be great. And yeah, let me know how you guys get on. Right, guys, that's us for today. So thank you very much for joining us on WorksheetCloud.com. Remember that on this website, you will also have access to previous lessons. You also have access to activities with memos. So each day, each topic has an assigned activity with a memo just for you to go and practice it a little bit more at home. And remember to rewind and replay lessons so that you can gain as much clarity as possible. Guys, keep safe, all the best, and I will see you guys tomorrow. Cheers.